All right, this week we want to talk about how to read shot groups. We want to talk about some of the mistakes people make when zeroing. More specifically, we want to focus on sight alignment. All right, now this first shot group here, all right, 3 bullets. I like to circle them. All right, now see how the height-wise, that's a good shot group. These rifles are capable of, you should be able to cover that shot group with a dime. Height-wise, that's a tight shot group. That shooter did good on their elevation. However, this bullet's way out here. Now, according to what the drill sergeants put out in basic training, if you have a wide shot group like that, obviously that's your trigger squeeze. You jerk that bullet, you jerk that gun off to the side with your trigger squeeze. They would say if it was up and down, it was your breathing. If it was side to side, that was your trigger squeeze. Honestly, that 99% of the time, that's not the case at all. What the problem is that front sight of the rifle, they're not centering it perfect in that rear sight aperture. When they look through it, this front sight has got to be perfect in the center of it. That's proper sight alignment. What they're doing is they're getting a proper sight picture. Same thing drill sergeant said. They're lining up the sights half-ass, but then they're putting that front sight post perfect in the center of the target. Any movement of that head left or right, they don't see it because they're focused more on the target. They're focused more on having that front sight in the middle of the target. And what happens is they're sliding their head left and right and their windage is off. So 99% chance this isn't the shooter jerking their trigger left or right. It's they don't have their head perfectly aligning that rear sight aperture with that front sight post. It's to the left or it's to the right, and that's what's giving us our targets with a spread left to right. That's what the mistake is, sight alignment. If you then take the shooter and say, hey, this time I want you to focus on having that front sight post perfectly centered in that circle left to right, I guarantee you this shot group will tighten up. All right, now let's go to the next target. All right, so this shooter here has made a different mistake, but very, very similar reasons. If you look width of this shot group, it's only about as wide as a dime, a little wider than a dime, but height-wise, this thing's atrocious. I mean, the thing's big as a house. So does he have a shot-out barrel? No, according to my drill sergeant, that's his breathing, raising and lowering the gun. So the shooter needs to hold his breath. I guarantee you that shooter was not breathing enough to make that thing jump up and down that much. Again, what he's doing wrong is sight alignment. He's taking that rear sight and he doesn't have the front sight perfectly centered. He's got it either too low or too high, and that's getting that spread. That's what that is. If you go back and then have the shooter focus on centering that sight post, I guarantee you we can tighten up that shot group. I'm going to show you how right over here. All right, so this shooter had the same problem. You'll notice a shot group vertically, all right, which my drill sergeant would tell you that's his breathing, all right? Now, we can roughly tell where the center of that shot group is, so we gave them the corrections, down 5, left 12. And we had them shoot another shot group, but this time I asked the shooter, I actually squatted down near him and I'd say, look, this time instead of focusing so much on the target, I want you to focus on lining up your sights first. Line them up, make sure that front sight is right in the middle of that rear sight aperture. And focus on that. Look how much this shot group tightened up. I can't shoot that today. My eyes are so bad, I couldn't shoot that good. That's an awesome shot group, and all it took was getting with the shooter and saying, hey, this time I want you to focus on proper sight alignment. That's how important proper sight alignment is. You, the instructor, you come down in the range, they've been zeroing for an hour and a half already. They still don't have the weapon zeroed. We've all seen it. Shot groups all over the place. First correction, right 9, down 5, down 2, right 9. They've got all the corrections, and this guy has just been jumping all over the place, all over the place. But if you look at the actual size of the shot groups, some of them, that's actually not a bad shot group. That's not a bad shot group. So why is it this guy keeps jumping all over the paper? Are they moving the sights in the wrong direction? Not necessarily. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this same shooter and we're gonna have them, we're gonna put up a clean target for them so we don't have all this chaos here, so we can easily see bullets, and we're gonna have them shoot 3 more shot groups. Except this time, I'm gonna have them actually get their head off the gun, get up, come back down, shoot that second shot group, get up, not go anywhere, and then we're gonna have them get back down and shoot that third shot group, and we're not gonna change the sights at all, not at all. All right, so what we did was we had the shooter get back behind their gun, we had them shoot a shot group. Don't touch the sights, we came down, we marked it. We had them shoot another shot group, don't touch the sights, came down and marked it. Had them shoot a third shot group, we came down and marked it. Why did they move? Why did they move? They're shooting good shot groups. Those are great shot groups. Why did those shot groups move even though we didn't touch any sights on the gun? It's because the shooter, every time they took that their head off that cheek well of that gun, they got up, when they got down behind it again, they didn't finalize and make sure they had perfect sight alignment. If you can beat that into their head, that is the importance of sight alignment, and it applies to pistols, it applies to shotguns, it applies to sniper rifles. If you have to have the sights aligned if you are going to be able to hit any targets at distance. If you have your sights perfectly aligned, and you put them anywhere on the target, you're going to hit the target. But if your sights aren't aligned and you put one of those sights perfect in the middle of the target, who knows where that bullet's got to go. Primary focus needs to be on sight alignment, and that's the focus and why I want to beat it home with this video. Make your shooters focus on sight alignment and you will make them a better precision shooter. If you have any questions or comments or ideas for other videos, be sure to leave them below.